If you ask someone, where do you want to live? Their answer might be a lot different than yours. It also might be the same.
I think California is one of the best places in US. All of my friends that went here, they told me that it was like a incredible experience to come here.
It's not a mystery that San Diego is an appealing location.
Ich finde es überragend hier. Das Wetter ist sensationell. Es ist immer warm, kurze Hose, T-Shirt. Und war auch schon ab und zu mal am Strand mit meinen Freunden. Von daher ist es auch echt sehr schön gewesen.
Of course, there are some cultural differences when you move somewhere new.
Ja, auf jeden Fall erstmal das Essen. Dass es sehr einfach ist, sich hier ungesund zu ernähren. Das geht daheim viel einfacher, dass man einfach sich selber was kocht und auch gesund oder Bio zum Beispiel sich Obst und Gemüse besorgt, das nicht so teuer ist. Zum Beispiel, wenn man hier in Amerika Bio-Gemüse kauft, ist es ziemlich teuer. Von daher muss man da als College-Student etwas darauf achten, dass man vielleicht nicht immer das teuerste kauft.
That's Leon Mueller-Weissen, a junior and player on the men's soccer team at the University of San Diego, or USD. He's from Germany, and as you can already tell, the language barrier can be an issue sometimes. But it's one that's welcomed. One international student claimed that it's easier to be thrown into the culture so that you have to speak the language, and they said that the extra practice has already helped their language skills. Greg Grossi, Associate Director for the Office of International Students and Scholars at USD, says the language barrier isn't as important as we think.
You always hear people talking about the language barrier. And for our students, I don't think that's the number one issue. I think the challenge is the academic culture is very different. So the style of teaching, the style of assessment and exams is quite different.
These students are up to the challenge.
I also think, USD, although we're a young university, we're really trying to show a more global profile. I think it's a very accepting place for international students. I think it's a place where international students feel first like a USD student, like anyone else, and we want to make sure that they feel comfortable and part of the community.
A community made up of 80 different countries. Spring 2016 saw University of San Diego sponsor 809 internationals. Over half of those were undergraduates. Many of the schools or departments associated with the university actively sponsor international students, particularly those involved in the student's degree plan.
I was impressed with my classes, especially with the business school. Like, they are really good, and I didn't know that.
Emma is an international student and athlete at USD. And she watched with the rest of the world as the United States elected its newest president.
I really don't know how this works in here. Didn't expect that the election would be like this. I'm so afraid, so afraid.
Mr. Grossi was the tip of the spear that penetrated the silence these international students held.
What does this mean? What kind of change do we expect? What can a president do on his own? Does this mean I can expect more open incidents of prejudice or bias? Does this mean that most Americans don't want me here? As simple as that.
His message was clear.
The U.S. has always been a welcome place for people from abroad, and our Constitution protects people's rights. And this is a country that is based on the rule of law. And any huge sort of political reform takes time in our system. As an international student, even though you're not a citizen of this country, you are protected under our laws.
University of San Diego prides itself on the international community it harbors, and it wants every student to feel like a USD student first. That means knowing where to go if you see or have something happen to you.
If you are feeling unsafe or a situation happens that makes you feel uncomfortable, don't hold it in. There are definitely a lot of places on campus that you can get support, and even if you just need to talk.